And the Chazon Ish continues and he says that if all people were deaf or mute, everything would be unsubstantial. So the Creator made a machine that makes strange noises, a machine known to us as the mouth. On the other hand, He also made a machine that reacts to these sounds, known to us as the ear. By way of the mouth and the ear, language was created. Man then became a living thing, which was translated by Onkelos in the Aramaic translation of the Torah as a speaking being called Ruach Memalela. Now, the big thing here that we see is that you have yourself a mouth that speaks, you have an ear that hears. The question is, what are you listening to? And what words are you saying? Now, if you notice, Hashem did not put your ears in front of your face. He didn't put your ears here. He didn't put your ears in your pocket. He didn't put, imagine your ear was on your foot. And every time somebody talks to you, hold on a second, you lift your foot all the way to his face. It wouldn't work out so good. It wouldn't work out so good. Or if your ear was on your hand. I mean, today it may actually work out because our hands are on the phone all day anyway. But, if your head was in your ear, it's like, hey, wow, what, are you telling me goodbye? No, I just want to hear what you're saying. It wouldn't work out so good. If it was in front of your face, it would be difficult for you to hear depth. Meaning, if it was over here, then if somebody talked to you, you would have to be in a certain position in order to understand what he's saying. But if he's talking far away, if he changes the tone, you have a very, very difficult problem as far as understanding what he's actually saying. One of the reasons why we fluctuate our voice as speakers, if you're a professional speaker, you tend to fluctuate your voice, you tend to do certain things at different times in order to grasp the attention of the person's brain. It's a subconscious thing that you do. Now, if you speak to people in a monotone fashion, you limit your crowd to simply people that are just like you, monotone. But when you fluctuate your voice, you raise your voice sometimes you raise your voice a lot and yell, sometimes you speak really low, and believe it or not, people listen to that even more. And you do different things. In speaking, you can use the talents that you have in different ways. When I used to teach guys how to sell, and our business on Wall Street was 99.99999 on the phone. Virtually never meeting the clients in person. If they want to come visit us, come visit us. If you want to go visit them, no problem. But generally speaking, I've done, hundreds of millions of dollars worth of business without ever seeing the people. And I preferred it that way. Why? What's the point? Why? To see your face, my face for what? I never understood that. But people sometimes like to meet. So I would tell them, you want to come to my office? Come to my office. I'm here. I'm at the same address all the time. Come. But what, for me to go take a trip to wherever you live? For what? Once in a blue moon I would do it. But generally speaking, I tried not to. I hate meeting people. Till this day, I hate meeting people. People always ask me, when can I meet you? Never. When? No, but what, I want to talk to you one-on-one. I said, come to the shiur. I'll meet you after the shiur. No, can we do like lunch? No. What about coffee? Absolutely not. Can we have a phone call? What? Try text message. It's the best we can get. Text message. If you want, we'll do voice notes. Why? There's no point. There's really no point. Why? Because what do you do in meetings? You chit-chat for an hour and a half about absolutely nothing, and the final 5 minutes is the real purpose of the meeting. Why don't we just get to the 5 minutes? I got a lot of stuff to do. What do I need to chit-chat with you? I don't need coffee. I have coffee in my house. Food? Baruch Hashem, my wife give me food. Why? For what? And that's what I did. I did literally hundreds of millions of dollars in business without ever meeting people. And people think, it's so strange you don't meet people. It's not strange. It's how I did my life. You want to meet people? Go do it. I've done meetings in my life. I've hated every single one of them. And generally speaking, now I refrain from doing them even more so, simply because it's a big waste of time. But people like to meet. People like to see people. People like to, look at you in the eyes, if you will. And they like to do it. They like to socialize. But at the same token, when you have you communicate with certain people, if you look at them and you're talking to them and you see that they're looking somewhere else, you don't have their attention, it's not so much fun. So when you speak to people, you need to make sure that they're listening to you. So sometimes when you're a speaker, you're a public speaker, you have to try to get the attention of the people in different ways. When you talk to people on the phone, You don't know what they look like. It's not like today with Skype and FaceTime and all these different technology. You can pretty much speak to people by looking at them. So you speak to people on the phone, you have no idea if the guy put the phone down or if he's listening to you. So you have to use different clever tools to test whether you have their attention or you don't have their attention, whether you're trying to grab their attention, you don't try to grab their attention. I'll give you a few little things. First of all, you have to know what you're going to say before you say it. If you don't know what you're going to say before you say it, don't sell anything. Not in person, not on the phone. Why? You're not a salesperson. Salespeople know what they're going to say before they're going to say it. Yeah, but how do I know what he wants? No, you don't know what he wants. You're going to tell him what he wants. That's what salespeople do. You're going to tell the guy what he wants. You're not going to ask him what he wants. You're going to tell him what he wants. That's what salespeople do. Oh, it's not so nice. I don't know. Apple was built that way. Apple, Apple, you have iPhones? Apple was built that way. Coca-Cola was built that way. Every company in the world is built that way. You don't ask people what they want. You tell them what they want. So you call the guy, you tell him, listen, you need this. Why? And I'll tell you different reasons of why you need it. Now, while the guy is not convinced that he needs it, or the woman is not convinced that she needs it, we try to generally not deal with women, by the way, on the phone. It's a very difficult client. But we had a few women clients. Some of them were okay, but generally we try to refrain from it. They're very emotional. When it comes to business, you don't want to deal with emotions. Torah, you deal with emotions all day. So everybody's emotional. The guys are crying, the girls are crying, everybody's crying. And in business, not so much. All the feminists are going to put stamps with my face on it. Oh, he's anti-women. He's no, not anti-women. I just don't want to do business with you. That's it. But anyway, I'm not in business. But anyway, so you have people, you call them, and you don't know if you have their attention. So how do you know? You have to, first and foremost, you have to know what you're going to say. Second of all, you have to have certain points where you pause and you ask for their response. Get them involved in the conversation. Yes, no, maybe. Not like a long response where it now turns into a conversation, but just simply try to get their attention. The third thing is, you have to make them interested in what you're going to say. Now, in reality, they have no idea what you're saying. 90% of what you're saying, you know what you're saying, but they have no idea what you're saying. So you have to embellish certain words and keep them focused on certain words. So you fluctuate your voice. You fluctuate your voice. You increase the voice. You lower the voice. Let me tell you a story. This story is the greatest story ever been told. And the guy's like, wow. He puts the phone inside his head. Because now you're whispering. Why is he whispering? Why is he whispering all of us? He was yelling the whole time. Why is he whispering now? Let me tell you the story. I'm not going to tell anybody. I'm going to tell you. Listen, this. The guy doesn't know what you're whispering. He's so interested, he wants to put the phone inside his head. So that's, in essence, it's not a trick. It's simply a thing to get the person's attention. You're not fooling him. You're just trying to get the guy's attention. Same thing I do with you guys. Same thing I do with everything. Is that sometimes you raise your voice because half of you guys are sleeping, so I have to wake you up. Sometimes you lower your voice. Sometimes you speak really, really fast and you tell them 57 different facts. Like, they're so baffled, like, wow, it's amazing. And sometimes you tell them slowly, like they're retarded, and A, and B, and C, and you try to make them laugh, and so on and so forth. So you see that there is a different way to speak to different people, and sometimes you have to use your hands, sometimes you have to use facial expressions, some people like to tell jokes. I'm generally not very good at jokes, other than jokes that make fun of me. Other than that, there's really nothing else. It's different things. Point being is, your mouth and your ears are very, very sophisticated tools. If you use them the right way, you can do a lot of things. Generally speaking, the most successful people in the world have been relatively good speakers. Why? It's not about how smart you are. It's about how could you explain your idea. Can I understand your idea? Because your idea, even if it's your idea, you don't necessarily need to know how to execute it. You just need to know how to explain it to somebody. You could buy somebody to execute it. You could pay for that. You could buy the Harvard guy. You could buy the Dartmouth guy. You could buy the Cornell guy and a Yale guy. You could just give them a little bit of money and they'll make your idea come to life. The question is, can you tell me your idea in a simple way where a 5-year-old can understand? If you can, you'll be successful. If you can't, you'll be a loser for the rest of your life. With an idea, though. Good idea. But you'll be in your mom's basement with that idea. And that's the way it works. So speaking is a very, very valuable skill. But not everybody needs to have it for that purpose. Because not everybody's going to be a speaker. But what does it have to do with our issue today that's much, much more important than all of my business career now that I just told you now? Is that regardless of whether you're going to use this skill for business or not, You must be able to communicate with society, especially the close people around you. Whether you like to communicate or you don't like to communicate. Whether you're a good communicator or you're not a good communicator. Whether you understood how to fluctuate your voice and how to explain certain things or not. You have to know how to communicate. Why? If you don't know how to communicate, you will live a very miserable life and everybody around you will as well. Why? Because no one's going to ever understand each other. That's in essence the first little tool that the Chazon Ish is trying to tell us, is that if it wasn't for our ability to communicate with each other with our ears and our mouth, life would simply be meaningless. Having a family with 87 different kids, nightmare. Why? Nobody understands everybody. Nobody understands anyone. 2 kids, 80 kids, it seems impossible anyway. Why? No one understands anyone. So that means that we have to toil, we have to work hard, not just at learning Torah, but executing the teaching of Chachamim tizaru b'divrechem, that the wise people, you must be careful with your words. You want to be a wise person, you want to learn Torah, you want to be something special in your life, you have to be wise with your words. You have to be very careful with them. Why? With my Talmidim? No, not just with your Talmidim. With your wife, with your husband, with your kids, with your friends, with your boss, with everybody. You have to choose your words carefully. Why? They make an impact on people. They make an impact on people. Now sometimes you hurt somebody, and that's the impact you wanted. You wanted to hurt them. It's not exactly such a good endeavor, but nonetheless, you hurt somebody with your words, but that's actually what you wanted. You wanted to see that person cry. Now, if you plan this ahead of time, and there's an ultimate purpose, no problem. I actually told somebody today that she should not talk to our son at all. She shouldn't cook for him, shouldn't clean for him, shouldn't give him any money. She should simply act as if he doesn't exist in our house until he comes back and apologizes on all 4 with tears. If he just says, I'm sorry, no, continue. Continue not talking to him. Continue treating him like he's a ghost. Why? He said some really nasty things to his ima. When you say really nasty things to your ima, you don't deserve any attention whatsoever. You have to be reminded that without your ima, you wouldn't even be a seed. A seed you wouldn't be. So when you speak in a nasty way to your ima, you're worse than a seed. You're worse than nothing. Young kids today talk to their parents like worse than friends. Curse them out, yell at them, like they owe them something. No, I don't need you. You don't need me. Go outside. Go. Go. You don't need me. You live in my house. You don't need me. Go. Go outside. Go. Go make it in the world, kid. You and your little 16-year-old education. Go. Go make it in the world. You and your Nintendo. Go. Go. There you go. Go. Go pay rent. $2,000, $3,000, $4,000, $5,000, $6,000 a month. Go. Go. Go pay for food. Go make your own laundry. Do you even know how to change your own underwear? You know how to laundry your underwear. Do you know even how to do that, B'chlal? What? Because everything is given to you. You think, I don't need you. I don't need you. I can do this myself. Go do it myself. Go! Go do it by yourself, hero. Go make your laundry, make your little, what are you going to make for what are you going to make for breakfast? Oh, Twinkie again? You had Twinkie yesterday. Granola bar again? How long you need granola bar for breakfast? Oh, you eating yesterday's granola bar? You only eat half yesterday? Why you only eat half yesterday? Oh, you can't afford it. Oh, because the granola bar costs money. Oh, because your imam Naba gave it to you. Oh, you forgot it costs money. Because you never made money in your life. Except when you were delivering a few newspapers, you thought that you were a rich guy. Kids talk to their parents like they're employees. Kids like that, you have to treat them in a hard way. Why? You have to wake them up. Being nice to them is not going to work. So sometimes you have to hurt somebody. Guy says, Ima, I want this and this. She has an answer. In the beginning, it's going to be a little annoying. After she has an answer for a week straight, it's going to hurt. Why? Kid's going to realize he doesn't have an Ima. Sometimes you have to do this. Sometimes you have to do this. Now, listen, your parenting skills may be different. B'atzlacha rabba. Success. Whatever you do. But I know that when it comes to certain people, if you constantly treat them in a soft way, it won't work. It doesn't work with everybody. Soft works with some kids, soft doesn't work with other kids. One of my kids, God bless him, Ovadia, you speak to him hard, it doesn't work at all. he dafka does the opposite, or he just simply ignores as if you said anything. You speak to him like he's a mature, Talmid Chacham, Kadosh, this, that, whatever you want, he'll do. You treat him like we respect, 3-year-old, no problem. Yell, scream, nothing. I don't yell and scream, but nonetheless, doesn't react to it. Doesn't react to like hard, doesn't react. Doesn't. Talk to him, explain to him why you need him to do this, this, and this. Works. Once in a while he drives you crazy because he wants to climb the ceiling, so you want to yell, but the point is that, but with my other daughter, you raise your voice 1%, all this, everything in the world. Yeah, I'm sorry, cries for 3 hours. You can't treat everybody the same. You can't. But when a kid is nasty and acts like a ben sorer umoreh in the Torah, curses his parents, goes against them like that, Torah says to kill him. Now, we're not allowed to kill anybody, but at the very least, we should treat him as if he's dead. Don't talk to him until he comes back and says, I'm sorry, Ima. I'm sorry, Abba. No, I'm sorry? Okay, I'm not going to kick you to the streets, because God only knows what you'll do over there. But from now on, you're simply a roommate. See how long you survive. You want to survive that way? You want to continue life that way? Don't worry. Go. One day you'll regret it. But you cannot continue being empathetic to these people or sympathetic to these people that are just outright nasty. You can't. This mouth and ears that you have has to be utilized in a certain way where you have to know how to communicate with certain people. Their way, not just your way. Because your way may work for some people and it may not work for other people. Now, if you are married, you have to know that you're going to have to adjust your way throughout the marriage. Meaning, there is no your way when you're married. The longer you're married, the more times you've adjusted your speech. Because sometimes she wants your attention, sometimes she can't wait to get away from you. Sometimes she wants you to talk to her for 3 hours, sometimes she wants you to just simply just say thank you, I love you, and just go your way, and she goes away and I'll meet you at night. It depends how long you're married, it depends what's going on in your life. Now some of the newlyweds say, what do you mean? I love me, we love, what are you talking about? We're never going to be that way. Okay, well, wait 20 years. Wait 20 years, then we'll talk. Wait 20 years, then we'll talk. Why? In the beginning, lovey-dovey, lovey. Okay, when you're 9 months pregnant, there's no lovey-dovey right now. I can't wait to get rid of this thing out of my body. I have this thing, this alien in my body. Honey, there's no I love you right now. Go away. There's this thing in my body, you won't get out. She doesn't want to talk to you. There's a thing in her body. Go with your nothing. Go make yourself breakfast. Make for me too. I'm hungry because I need to feed this thing. So what do you mean? What happened to lovey-dovey? What happened to I love moochie-moochie? No moochie. Go coochie. Go over there. I need to eat to feed this thing. Go over there. What do you think? What do you think? This is how it is. Now, a second after the kid's out, oh, I love you. Poochie, coochie, poochie, noochie. What was it? I can't touch you right now. You're nida. I can't. What do you mean you can't touch me? Change the rabbi. Change the religion. Change this. No, I love you, Muchi. What happened? I thought you loved me. Yeah, I love you, but that's why I can't touch you, because the rabbi says if I touch you, it's din kared. We go to gay. No, I feel like no, I can't touch you. She's overly emotional. She starts crying. Why? She wants to hug her husband, and you don't even want to hold her hand because you can't, and so on and so forth. Now, guess what? If you don't know what you're going to say before this happened, you're going to be it's not going to be a laughing matter. You're going to already have to plan for this day before it happens. Remember, honey, I love you. It's 6 months, 3 months from now is a long time, but just remind you, karet, no, not touching. Oh, yeah. You're going to have to prepare for this stuff. You have to know what you're going to say. You have to know what you're going to do. What are you going to do? How are you going to get the baby? How are you going to change? How are you going to switch? You make mistakes. As you get older, Rabotai Kareem, you start developing different parts of your life. There's ups, there's downs, there's right, there's left, there's all types of things. The kid is this, the kid is that, the wife is this, the parents, the in-laws, the brothers, the job, all types of things change. So you have to learn how to communicate with each other and always make sure you realize that you are on the same team. So long as you realize you're on the same team, it doesn't matter if you have to change your role. Where today you're the mom, today you're pretending to be the dad, sometimes you're the child, sometimes you're the grandparent. You change your role. Why? Because you're on the same team. Whatever I got to do, coach, whatever I got to do, let me in. I want to play. I want to be on this team. I want it to win. And that's how you actually know good employees, for example. What are good employees? Employees that are willing to do anything. Anything. I just want to be on a team. That's how you know. I used to play football when I was in Goy High School. And I pretended to be a Goy for a few years of my life. And I actually thought I was going to go in the NFL, even though I was like 5'0" and slower than a turtle. I actually, in my imagination, thought I was going to be in the NFL. Now, I knew a lot about the game, but knowledge doesn't get you into the NFL. Knowledge maybe can get you to coach, at best. But if you're small, not usually. Anyway, I was on a team. Now, there were some guys on the team. I would have literally killed somebody to have their talent. They were born fast. Like, they didn't have to practice to be fast. They were like born like a rat that could run from here till the end of the year in like 5 seconds. It was like unbelievable how fast they were. I'm like struggling to finish the 40, and they like finished it 87 times. Like, how is this happening? How is he doing it? Like, how does a human being run so fast? I'm trying my best. I'm running out of air. And this guy's finishing. He's like jogging backwards. And I'm like, how? How is it possible? It was unbelievable to me. But they were the worst players on the team. Worst. I would play sometimes more than them. Why? I wanted to be on the team. So I wanted to do anything. Coach put me here, coach put me here, coach put me here. I didn't play that much because I wasn't necessarily that talented. But whenever there was somebody opening, they put me in. Until I got injured and couldn't play anymore. But because the rest of the people were like monsters and I'm still little. But the point is that these guys never made anything out of their talent. Why? They had conditions. They were only willing to play a certain role at a certain time, at a certain place. And if you didn't give them that role at that time, at that play, they don't want to play. And guess what? They're losers. Because they thought that their talent is going to get them somewhere. They don't realize there's 1.5 million like them every year that get to nowhere. Why? Your talent by itself is not enough. Your talent by itself is not enough. You need to know how to use it. So sometimes you're going to have a situation where you may know how to talk to certain people, but if you utilize that same skill with your wife, with your husband, it's not going to work. So you have to adapt. And in order to make yourself a good teammate, a good employee, a good husband, a good wife, you have to be able to adapt. Adapt to the environment. Why? Because you want to be on the team. Not necessarily you want to be the captain or you want to be the leader. No, you just want to be on the team. If you want to be on the team, you'll succeed. If you don't want to be on the team, you won't succeed. Why? Sometimes we need you on that role, sometimes we don't. But that means that when we don't need you, you're just filling up a chair. We'll get somebody else to do that. Maybe we'll hire you as like a contractor. Contractor husband. Once in a year, once, twice a year, when we need kids, we'll bring you. Once, twice a year, when we need a wife, we'll bring you. Once, twice a year, we need, some flyer person. We'll hire you. Contractor. Why? Because you don't want to be on a team. You just want your job, how it is. Doesn't work. And this is a major, major problem in a lot of marriages today. I hear that a lot of marriages have problems. Practically every marriage that I'm familiar with, people, that involves people, usually it's people, they have problems. Why? Because they don't know how to communicate. The husband wants what he wants the way he wants. The wife wants what she wants the way she wants. And the problem is that no one knows how to communicate with each other of how to express their feelings. Why is what they want important to them? Why is what they want really what the other person should want also? Everyone is just searching out for themselves. It's like they're married, but they have 2 separate bank accounts. They're married, but they act like roommates. They're married, but in reality, they're only there for that deed that you do once in a while, and that's pretty much it. That's not a marriage. That's worse than dating, because at least dating, you pretend to be happy. And the problem is that if you don't know how to communicate, that marriage is going to end very, very rough. Very rough. So you see, Rabotai, when it comes to communicating, A person needs to know that what they do and how they do it is no less important than their skill set, than their talent, than their, in essence, ability to deliver. Because I may be the best speaker that you know, but some people can't stand me. I may be the worst speaker that you know, some people love me. Why? Because it works for some people, works for some people. But what makes a person really special? If he can speak to everybody. If he can connect with everybody in different ways. Now every lecture we make sure it's long enough that pretty much everybody gets connected to, because we don't have that much talent, but Baruch Hashem, we have time. So we talk for 2 hours, eventually it's going to hit you. If you're awake, it's going to hit you. But the key is to know that you don't have that kind of luxury in marriage. Sometimes you have a wife, or you have a husband that's very demanding, wants an answer right now. I want you to know right now. I want to know now. So that means that you have to get some training. And there's going to be ups, there's going to be downs. But you have to learn how to use these tools that HaKadosh Baruch Hu gave you.